Welcome to episode 4 of the Fallen Phoenix Deep Dive. Today, we continue our journey through Book 1, covering chapters 10 through 12. Now, let's join your hosts, Calum and Lyra, as they unravel swordplay, shadows, and the lingering weight of grief.
Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of sources, articles, research, our own notes, and pull out those fascinating nuggets of knowledge, giving you a shortcut to being truly well-informed. Today, we're diving into the emotional core and the evolving dynamics of Fallen Phoenix, Book 1, specifically chapters 10 through 12.
Right.
These chapters are absolutely packed with subtle shifts and powerful revelations, and we're here to guide you through every significant detail and the surprising aha moments, lurking just beneath the surface.
Indeed. Our mission today is to explore the immediate and, quite unexpected aftermath of a truly shocking event, Phoenix's incredibly gruesome sparring injury. Where he was literally cut in half.
Yeah, still processing that one.
Right. We'll then observe the quiet intimacy that surprisingly follows, delving into its profound implications. We'll also witness significant shifts in the relationships between our key characters, particularly the evolving dynamic between Anastasia, Phoenix, and Rachael. And finally, we'll introduce some formidable new players who are about to stir things up dramatically on the external front, kind of setting the stage for escalating conflicts.
You've shared these chapters with us, and we're here to help you navigate the subtle changes in trust, the blossoming of unspoken feelings, and the escalating power struggles that start to unfold on both sides of this epic conflict.
Exactly.
Get ready to understand not just what happens, but why it matters and what it tells us about how these characters are evolving and what it means for the world they inhabit. There's a lot more beneath the surface here than you might initially think.
Definitely.
So, we open the segment aptly titled, "Was It All a Dream?" with Anastasia waking up. It's night, later the very same day as that truly wild rooftop sparring incident where Phoenix, he got cut in half.
Yep. Still shocking.
She's in Phoenix's bed, moonlight streaming in through the windows, and there's the soft, comforting crackle of a fireplace. It's a remarkably domestic and peaceful scene, isn't it?
It really is.
Especially after the sheer chaos and violence of what she'd just witnessed hours before. It's almost disorienting in its tranquility.
That immediate juxtaposition is absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Anastasia's first instinct upon waking is to confirm the reality of it all, asking, you did get cut in half, right? That wasn't just a dream, was it?
Huh. You can just hear the disbelief.
Totally. This isn't just a casual question. It underscores the surreal nature of Phoenix's abilities, his, impossible regeneration. And Anastasia's still developing understanding of them.
Right.
Remember, she's never encountered anything quite like this. For her, it challenges the very fabric of reality she understands. It also highlights her emotionally shaken state from witnessing such a gruesome, even if temporary, injury to someone she's clearly growing to, care for deeply. Her mind is grappling with the impossible, trying to fit it into a logical framework that simply doesn't exist in Phoenix's world.
That's such a keen observation. And Phoenix, with Rachael present in the room, just laughs it off.
Yeah.
Rachael even adds, with a distinct shift in her demeanor, "It takes more than a mere flesh wound to kill him, darling, believe me." It's almost comedic, given the severity of what happened.
It is.
But it tells you so much about their world and Phoenix's unique, almost casual resilience. This shared, lighthearted response from Phoenix and Rachael, almost a dismissal of an event that would be traumatic for anyone else, serves to normalize the extraordinary for Anastasia.
Exactly. It's a subtle but powerful induction into the bizarre reality of Phoenix's existence.
Yeah.
What's truly fascinating here is how quickly the narrative pivots from the grotesque to the almost mundane, reinforcing the extraordinary nature of Phoenix as an everyday reality for those around him. This casual acceptance of the impossible is a critical aspect of their world building. It shows us that Phoenix's powers aren't just fantastical, they're woven into the very fabric of how his close companions live and react.
Right, like breathing for them.
Pretty much. For Rachael, it's a practiced familiarity, and for Anastasia, it's a new lesson in adapting to a reality far beyond her previous comprehension.
What happens next is a truly fascinating display of Phoenix's powers. He simply fades out of sight and reappears behind Anastasia.
So cool.
This subtle display of power without any fanfare is a quiet but potent reminder of his extraordinary nature. He doesn't need to make a show of it, it's just part of who he is.
Yeah.
And Anastasia, we see her developing a remarkable astuteness here. She catches herself before asking the obvious question of how he did it, realizing it's a stupid question given his usual evasive answers. What does that internal monologue reveal about her rapid growth and her adaptation to his quirks?
You've hit on a crucial point about Anastasia's development. This adaptation isn't just about getting used to Phoenix's strange powers. It's a critical marker of her burgeoning emotional intelligence and her deepening trust.
Okay.
She's learning the unspoken language of his world, discerning not just what he can do, but how he operates, and most importantly, when to respect his boundaries. This quiet observation marks a profound shift from her initial fear and confusion, revealing her capacity for genuine connection beyond the extraordinary.
And this growing connection deepens as they discuss the paintings in his room. Phoenix reveals he painted them himself based on his memories and dreams.
Which is huge.
What's striking is that Anastasia notices some paintings feature a person in the distance. This is a rare, vulnerable moment for Phoenix, isn't it?
Absolutely. This scene, where Phoenix reveals his personal art, serves as a crucial narrative device. It's a rare moment where the story pulls back the curtain on Phoenix's carefully constructed facade, allowing Anastasia, and by extension us, the audience, a privileged glimpse into his deepest vulnerabilities.
Yeah, you feel like you're seeing something private.
Exactly. His art acts as a direct window into his soul, a desire, a wish, a painful memory that he usually keeps hidden behind a facade of casualness. It's a testament to the power of art as a means of expression, even for a character who usually communicates through power or, stoicism. This intentional reveal by the author deepens our understanding of his motivation and the immense burden he carries.
And Anastasia, with a deep insight that speaks to her growing empathy for him, figures out this distant figure is his lost love, a painful subject for him. The text tells us she could feel his breathing become slow and deep when they touched on the subject, confirming her intuition. This moment truly shows Anastasia's deepening connection and understanding of Phoenix, moving beyond mere curiosity to genuine emotional resonance.
Yeah, it's a massive step.
It's a stark contrast to her initial confusion and fear. She's not just observing him, she's feeling with him.
From a broader perspective, this reinforces that Anastasia isn't just a bystander. She's an active participant in understanding Phoenix's profound emotional depth and his enduring pain, something he usually keeps hidden.
Okay.
This sensitivity is a cornerstone of their burgeoning connection, suggesting that her unique gift might lie not just in her powers, but in her capacity for empathy and emotional resonance with someone as complex as Phoenix. She's able to access a part of him that very few, if any, others can.
Building on this moment of shared vulnerability and insight into Phoenix's past, we see him take a truly pivotal step that solidifies his intentions towards Anastasia. He expresses his desire for her to learn to use a sword, seeing it as a form of art, a balance of both mind and body. This isn't just a casual suggestion, is it? It feels monumental.
Not at all. It is monumental. He gives her one of his own blades, described as well-crafted, with a red leather grip, a black blade with red inlays, and a hilt beautifully crafted to look like fire.
Wow. The description alone.
Right. This isn't just about training. This is a profound sign of trust, a deeply symbolic gesture. Phoenix is entrusting her with a part of himself, a tool of his world, something intensely personal and representative of his identity as a warrior, a guardian, a protector. The blade, looking like fire, also subtly nods to his own nature as a phoenix, and perhaps hints at Anastasia's developing fire-based abilities, suggesting a shared destiny or power.
Oh, good point. I didn't catch that direct link.
Yeah. It signifies his acceptance of her, his commitment to her growth and protection, and a desire to integrate her into his life and his ways. This act raises an important question for you to consider. What does this level of trust imply for their future dynamic? It's not just a gift. It's an invitation to share his very existence.
You've hit on something crucial there. This isn't just about training. This blade, forged in fire-like imagery, becomes an extension of his identity, and by sharing it, he's effectively inviting her into his world in the most intimate way.
Exactly.
And after Phoenix leaves the room, Anastasia has a heart-to-heart with Rachael. For the first time, Rachael softens her attitude and, surprisingly, apologizes for her earlier competitive behavior. This is a huge shift for Rachael, isn't it?
This conversation is absolutely critical for Rachael's character arc, marking a turning point in her perception of Anastasia. Anastasia asks Rachael if she loves Phoenix.
Bold question.
Very. Rachael's reply is poignant. It's hard to love someone that doesn't love you back because they still love someone from a past life, you know?
Oh,
This confirms Phoenix's enduring grief for his lost mate, reinforcing Anastasia's earlier insight from the paintings.
Right, ties it all together.
But more than that, it's a moment of profound vulnerability and shared understanding between the two women. Rachael, who initially saw Anastasia as a rival, now confides in her, acknowledging her own unrequited feelings and, by extension, Phoenix's deep, ancient pain.
Oh.
This signals a remarkable step in Rachael's emotional maturity, shifting from jealousy to empathy.
And then the age reveal. Rachael reveals her age, 39, and Phoenix's over 8,000.
Whoa.
Highlighting the vast generational and experiential gap between them and Anastasia, but it also establishes a shared understanding of deep, ancient pain. Rachel's lived a lot, seen a lot, and she recognizes Phoenix's grief in a way Anastasia is just beginning to grasp. It places Phoenix's sorrow in a truly cosmic context.
Rachel's insights into Phoenix are truly vital here. She explains he relives his lost love's death every night, and his nonchalant demeanor is often just a mask he wears for my benefit.
Oh, man.
This illuminates Phoenix's internal struggle. Despite his immense power, he is profoundly vulnerable to his past. The mask he wears is not to deceive others, but to shield Rachael, and now perhaps Anastasia, from the depth of his constant suffering.
That makes sense.
From a broader perspective, this shows Rachel's evolving maturity and her protective instincts, extending beyond just Phoenix to Anastasia as well. She's no longer seeing Anastasia as a threat, but as someone who is also impacted by Phoenix's deep pain, fostering a new kind of camaraderie and solidarity between them.
Yeah, like a shared burden almost.
Exactly. It's a remarkable growth from the character we first encountered.
The segment culminates in a quiet, incredibly intimate moment later that night. Anastasia can't sleep, consumed by thoughts. Phoenix, sensing this, joins her in bed, laying on top of the blankets.
Not in the bed, but on top. Important detail.
Right. They share a moment of vulnerability, acknowledging the dreams, the nightmares, really that plague Phoenix. It's not about romantic overtures, it's about simple presence and comfort, a profound connection of quiet support.
And this is truly profound. For the first time in a long while, Phoenix finds restful sleep beside her. This raises an important question for you to consider. What inherent quality does Anastasia possess that allows Phoenix, a being of immense power and ancient burdens, to finally find peace?
Yeah, what is it about her?
It suggests a profound, unspoken connection, a unique solace that only Anastasia can offer him, far beyond anything Rachael or others have provided. This isn't just about emotional resonance. It hints at a deeper, almost energetic compatibility.
Okay.
Perhaps her presence somehow quiets the ancient echoes within him, offering a tranquility he hasn't known in millennia. It is a powerful narrative moment, signifying Anastasia's irreplaceable role in his life and the unique quiet strengths she brings.
So we shift to the next morning in chapter 11, and the atmosphere is already palpably different. Phoenix is still asleep on top of the covers, a clear sign of the rare peace he found the night before.
That visual really lingers, doesn't it?
It does. Rachel is by the balcony window, not looking worried or jealous, but calm and thoughtful. This sustained peace for Phoenix is, in itself, a testament to Anastasia's impact.
This is a crucial moment for Rachel's character development, solidifying the shift we saw the previous night. She confirms that Phoenix is still sleeping. That's good. His mind must be at peace.
Such a simple line, but says so much.
Right. And she explicitly assures Anastasia that she didn't ask him to lie down next to me, and that she's not mad. This is huge.
Oh, that clears the air completely.
She's explicitly no longer seeing Anastasia as competition. Her emotional maturity has taken a significant leap, moving from a position of jealousy to genuine concern and acceptance. She even defers Anastasia's training until Phoenix wakes, demonstrating a protective instinct for both of them, recognizing the unique dynamic that's forming.
That's really telling.
It's a complete transformation in her posture towards Anastasia, demonstrating her loyalty to Phoenix extends to accepting and nurturing those who genuinely help him.
Then comes a truly touching detail that speaks volumes about Phoenix's character. Anastasia asks if Rachael has been bringing her meals and clothes. Rachel says no, it's Phoenix, even when awake without realizing he's doing them at all. This is such a subtle, yet deeply significant revelation.
What's fascinating here is the subconscious attentiveness this implies. Anastasia finds new hair ties, scrunchies, with her fresh clothes, which clearly serve as a quiet, thoughtful gift from Phoenix.
Scrunchies.
I know, right? Consider this. Phoenix, a being of immense power, ancient burdens and seemingly detached demeanor is subconsciously providing small, intimate comforts like hair ties.
It's almost domestic, in a weird ancient being kind of way.
Exactly. This isn't just thoughtfulness. It reveals a profound, almost instinctual level of care that bypasses his conscious guard. It speaks to a hidden vulnerability within him and a deep-seated desire to nurture, possibly born from his own losses. This subtle attentiveness forms a bedrock of trust, suggesting that true connection with Phoenix isn't forged through grand heroic acts, but through these quiet, consistent gestures that make Anastasia feel truly seen and safe.
Yeah.
It speaks to his underlying nature, a protector who expresses his care through practical, personal means without even fully registering it himself.
This new, unspoken trust among the three Phoenix, Anastasia, and Rachael begins to solidify through action, not just words. Rachael's training for Anastasia is intense but respectful, and we see Anastasia beginning to master the sword Phoenix gave her. They are working together, building skill and a shared experience, forming a cohesive unit.
The training itself becomes a crucible for this developing trust. We see Anastasia making remarkable progress, adapting to her new reality and the demanding nature of swordplay, honing her physical and mental discipline.
It's not easy for her, though.
No, definitely not. The external environment itself mirrors the narrative tension as a storm approaches, making the training more challenging, amplifying the stakes, and creating a dramatic backdrop for her efforts.
Right. That storm adds a layer.
And Phoenix, even while sounding tired, still exerts his presence, instructing Anastasia from another room. No running with swords.
That dad voice.
Totally. It demonstrates his continued subtle guidance and watchful eye, even when not physically present. It's a testament to his innate protectiveness and his commitment to her growth, showing he's always attuned to her safety and progress.
And the training culminates in a tense moment. Anastasia's footing slips during a spar with Rachael. It's a moment of danger, a real test, highlighting her vulnerability even as she grows stronger.
Yeah, your heart kind of stops there.
Phoenix intervenes instantly, floating Rachael in midair with glowing eyes. His words are calm. That's enough for now.
Chills. But also, that control.
Exactly.
This isn't just about protection. It's a profound display of his authority and his role in guiding Anastasia's development, ensuring her safety while she learns. It's also another instance of his powers being used for a subtle, protective purpose rather than, brute force.
Right.
Precision, demonstrating a growing restraint and intentionality in their application. The fact that his eyes glow, indicating the activation of his abilities, but he acts calmly and deliberately, shows a contained power that he's learning to wield with care, particularly when Anastasia's safety is concerned. This reinforces his deep, unspoken commitment to her, solidifying his role not just as her mentor, but her ultimate guardian, even in the midst of her growth. It's a moment that powerfully underlines the sacred trust he places in her and the depth of his protective instinct.
Now, let's switch gears and see what's happening on the other side inside the tower. We're introduced to Agent Frank, who is absolutely furious over Phoenix's escape.
Oh boy, Frank.
He's spiraling into a rage, even kicking a cyber warrior's head around. For you, the listener, a cyber warrior is one of the tower's advanced, perhaps even sentient, automated security or combat units.
Yeah, that detail tells you a lot about the tower itself.
It does. This small detail reinforces the highly technological and perhaps dehumanizing nature of the tower's forces, contrasting sharply with the raw, emotional struggles we've just explored with Phoenix and Anastasia. Frank is clearly lost control, emotionally and professionally, allowing his personal frustration to boil over into destructive outbursts.
Indeed. Frank expects a traditional partner, someone he can control and who adheres to his established norms. But instead, the council assigns him Agent Sarah, whom he immediately dismisses as a new breed.
Ugh, that phrasing.
Right, this is more than just a dismissal, it's a derogatory slur. This reveals his rigid, traditional mindset, his elitism, and his contempt for anything or anyone outside his established order. His fury over Phoenix's escape is not just professional frustration, but deeply personal, tying into his ego and sense of superiority, which has clearly been bruised by Phoenix's repeated evasion.
Totally. He can't handle being outsmarted.
And he staunchly believes Anastasia was kidnapped, and is steadfast in that conviction, reflecting his unwillingness to accept that she might have willingly left, or that Phoenix could have such an influential, non-coercive hold over her.
Yeah, he can't conceive of that possibility.
This refusal to acknowledge any alternative narrative highlights his narrow-mindedness and arrogance.
And Agent Sarah's introduction provides a crucial contrast to Frank's rigid anger. On the surface, she's described as bubbly and cheerful, but underneath, she's remarkably composed and deliberate.
Don't let the bubbles fool you.
Exactly. She doesn't rise to Frank's insults, but directly confronts him, grabbing his tie and pulling him eye to eye. She makes it clear she's no fool.
Love that moment.
This immediately establishes her as a force to be reckoned with, despite her seemingly lighthearted exterior. She challenges his authority and sets the tone for their contentious partnership from the very first interaction.
What's fascinating here is her unwavering resolve. She firmly believes Anastasia was kidnapped and is determined to bring her back despite Frank's condescension and open hostility.
She has her own strong convictions.
Totally. She even throws gum at the back of his head when he dismisses her, which is just a perfect, cheeky, yet defiant gesture.
Ah, yes.
This act, seemingly trivial, is a declaration of her independent spirit and her refusal to be intimidated. This clashing of personalities immediately establishes a power struggle between them.
Oh yes, sparks will fly there too.
It hints at significant tension and differing methods for their joint mission to retrieve Anastasia and capture Phoenix. Her compassionate belief that Anastasia was taken against her will also contrast sharply with Frank's impersonal, purely tactical approach to the mission, suggesting a more human, albeit perhaps naive, motivation for her actions.
The Council, recognizing Phoenix's unique threat, makes it explicitly clear to Frank that Phoenix has proven himself to be more than you can handle, forcing Frank to work with Sarah.
Ouch! That's gotta sting Frank's pride.
Oh, massively. This reveals the Council's desperation and their recognition of Phoenix's truly unique capabilities, something Frank is too proud and blinded by his own ego to admit. They're no longer willing to rely on old methods and traditional agents to handle a threat as unprecedented as Phoenix.
This intervention from the Council is a significant development. It shows the higher authorities are losing patience with Frank's repeated failures and are willing to try new, perhaps unconventional methods.
Enter Sarah's methods.
Exactly. Sarah, eager to find Anastasia, suggests using the repérage d'amis, featured friend method, a new, powerful, but dangerous tracking technique she learned in training. She goes directly to her professor to implement it.
Repérage d'amis sounds almost nice.
Right. When Sarah suggests repérage d'amis, literal friend spotting or featured friend, it sounds innocuous, but it's far from it. This advanced tracking method isn't like a simple GPS. It's dangerous because it relies on deep emotional or psychological resonance, exploiting the very bonds we've just discussed forming between Anastasia and Phoenix.
Oh, wow. So it uses their connection against them.
Potentially, yes. Imagine a tracking spell that feeds off affection or trust. The stronger the connection, the clearer the ping, but perhaps also the greater the drain or psychic vulnerability it creates for the person being tracked. This isn't just a surveillance tool, it's a weapon that could weaponize intimacy itself.
That's disturbing.
It is. This initiative from Sarah is highly significant. It demonstrates her strong-willed presence and her determination to act, unlike Frank, who is bogged down by his ego and rigid thinking. This focus on a personal connection to track Anastasia also contrasts sharply with Frank's impersonal, purely tactical approach. It sets the stage for a dramatic shift in the pursuit, as external forces bring new, ethically questionable methods into play that directly target the burgeoning, intimate connections we've just witnessed forming between Phoenix and Anastasia.
So the very thing giving Phoenix peace is now a potential vulnerability.
Precisely. The narrative is building towards a dramatic collision between these two very different worlds, one built on genuine connection, the other on cold, calculated exploitation. Hashtag outro.
So what have we truly learned from this deep dive into chapters 10, 11, and 12 of Fallen Phoenix, Book 1? What are the key takeaways from these pivotal moments?
Well, we've seen the raw emotional aftermath of conflict, revealing the true vulnerability and profound depth beneath the surface of a powerful protagonist like Phoenix, and being burdened by millennia of pain, yet capable of finding solace in an unexpected new connection. We've witnessed Rachel's remarkable journey of emotional maturity, shedding past jealousy for genuine care and mentorship, forming a new kind of protective bond.
Yeah, her turnaround is amazing.
And we've observed the formation of a quiet, yet incredibly profound, unspoken trust and connection, often expressed through subtle gestures like the gift of hair ties between Phoenix and Anastasia, a bond so deep it allows Phoenix to finally find restful sleep, a peace he hasn't experienced in centuries.
Those small moments really pack a punch.
They really do.
But just as these intimate bonds are forming, strengthening the core trio, the world outside closes in with escalating urgency, bringing new players with clashing personalities and motives.
Yep, the pressure is mounting.
The arrogance and rigid traditionalism of Agent Frank stand in stark contrast to the determined, compassionate, yet equally formidable Agent Sarah. This sets up a thrilling push and pull in the narrative, redefining the pursuit and promising a collision between these two very different approaches to power, loyalty, and connection.
This raises an important question for you to mull over as you reflect on these chapters. In a world where loyalty, identity, and personal history are constantly being challenged and even weaponized, how do unspoken feelings and subtle acts of support truly shape the landscape of conflict and connection? Is true strength found in overt destructive power, or in the quiet intimacy and profound trust shared between individuals? The kind of bond that can offer a tormented soul its first restful sleep in millennia.
Something to think about, isn't it? Until next time, keep digging deeper into the stories that shape our understanding of the world, and remember that sometimes the quietest moments hold the most profound truths.
That closes out episode 4 of the Fallen Phoenix Deep Dive. Between rooftop echoes and shadowed threats, hearts are tested and blades drawn. But in a world like this, where power hides in the quiet and danger wears a badge, there's always more waiting just beyond the next page. We'll see you then.